Nau mai, haere mai, ki tēnei kaupapa, ko Nicola aho.
Ko Joe aho. This part is part 3 in a series of presentations focused on sharing our Tiriti journey. In the first presentation, we shared how it began. In the second, we shared the steps we took to bring our Tiriti framework into being. In this presentation, we'll share how we are living our Tiriti framework in our everyday work. So having developed the framework, it was important to us to articulate the how. What will we actually be doing with this document to ensure that it be the guide that we wanted it to be? We agreed that it would be a living document, which is time and context bound, requiring a need for continued and ongoing critique and engagement with the framework as we learn and grow. A reference point, providing a clear vision of where we want to be and a framework via which to critique our practice and track our progress. A tool for practice, actively used to underpin who we are, what we do, and how we work. And embedded as part of the fabric of our centre and ways of working, which form the basis of our engagement with new team members, collaborators, and students.
It has also shifted through our practice. In 2023, we generated a new iteration that was born from further discussion and reflection on the experience of working with both our PCR values and this framework. There are lots of decisions and initiatives that have come as a result of this work, but just to give you a brief overview of a few examples from different aspects of the work we do as a centre. We acknowledge that it would take time for us to become natural to embed this into our everyday work. So one of our first initiatives was to dedicate one team meeting a month to focus on what we were doing and thinking about doing in relation to Te Tiriti, to bring both ideas and challenges to the table. More recently, this has developed into an offshoot called Our Tiriti Action Group that specifically focuses on actions outward from our centre, focused on our influence with our communities. Initiated and led by one of our team members, Claire Ibar-Roberts. We are still very much on a journey, and this means that how the framework guides our actions and interactions is constantly evolving. For example, this year in our Tiriti focused team meetings, we've started bringing both positive examples of actively engaging as Tiriti partners to celebrate and bringing examples where we feel we could have done things better and thought about things differently so we can discuss and learn together. In research, the framework has influenced the design of research studies. For example, our research co-designing tools and resources to support the delivery of person-centred and culturally responsive tele-rehab practice in Aotearoa is co-led by PCR and a Māori research provider. We have drawn on Angus McFarlane's He Awa Whiria model to bring together kaupapa Māori and Western science. They form separate streams of work, each with their own space, as well as intersecting in a reciprocal, recursive way through the research process. The images on the slide are Play-Doh models from one of our co-designed hui, where participants were responding to the prompt, how can you support a tikanga-based approach to tele-rehab? Outside of our specific research projects, the framework has also prompted us to critically reflect as a team on some of our core research processes, such as how we analyse data across worldviews.
In teaching, we're more deliberately teaching Te Tiriti application and context, and we have also taken up opportunities to work with community partners to look at course and assessment design. For example, in a postgraduate course focused on vocational rehabilitation, we engaged in consultation with colleagues from Whatever It Takes Rehabilitation, who have taught on the course over several years about kaupapa Māori approaches. This led us to add an embedded model with non-academic materials, that is, short articles and videos and resource links to help students understand systemic racism, and to rework assignments to encourage students to examine the place of Te Tiriti and cultural safety in their own work and workplaces. Finally, we're committed to bringing people with us. This is a picture from our November 2023 visit to Te Herenga Waka o Orewa Marae, when we returned to share the framework with Kiriama Nathan. On this visit, we also brought our PCR network of postgraduate research students and manuhiri or visitors from the Monash University to share our journey with them and invite reflection on what it made people think about in relation to their own work. So we've shared 3 presentations with you, taking you through our Tiriti journey to date, including how it began, bringing our framework into being, and living it in our work. However, our Tiriti journey doesn't stop here. Consistent with our intentions for this framework to be a living document and to be open to new ideas and challenge, we hope that by sharing our Tiriti journey with you, we can build connections and keep in conversation so that it continues to evolve.